What's up guys, Taylor here with BoogeyLights. Today we're going to be doing a grill, air vent, and undercab install on this 2015 Volvo 780. As you can see, we already have the air vents off, so the next thing we're going to do is get this grill off here so we can get our hands up in there nice and easy. So let's get started. First, we're going to remove the grill, which is held in place by about 10 torque head screws. Next, we're going to be taking measurements of the 4 areas inside the grill that we're going to be placing LEDs. Here we are cutting the 41-inch plastic for the top of the grill strip that will already come pre-cut in your kit, and then simply riveting it into place behind where the grill attaches. That way the rivet heads are covered. So after you prep the surface with alcohol, you're going to apply the 3M primer, which is a very important step not to skip. Then you're going to slowly press the strip up into place, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing for the other 3 strips that are in the grill as well. So now that we have the top, the bottom, and the passenger side strip attached, we're going to be attaching the driver's side next. You can see the driver side and passenger side strips have their power lead facing the ground, and then the top and bottom strip have their power lead facing the driver side. Next, we're going to be measuring the 3 areas inside of the hood vents. In your kit, you'll receive one 16-inch strip and 2 12-inch strips for each vent. Now that 16-inch strip will attach just on the inside top part of that vent there, with the light shining inward like so. Similar to the 16, that first 12-inch is going to attach just on the inside of that lip there for the air vent at the very front. And now that last 12-inch strip is going to attach around the circular structure of the plenum with the LEDs shining upward, and that power lead will be facing downward. After drilling a hole in the bottom of the vents, you'll feed a 20-gauge 4-conductor wire through that. The one end of that wire will connect to the 3 LED strips that are inside the vents, and the other end of that wire will then connect to the 18-gauge feeder coming off of your controller. Here's a close-up of your connections. After you finish those, you'll have all your red, green, blue, and blacks going together. Moving on, we're going to be doing the same procedure as the grill and air vents by measuring the undercab. There'll be 2 strips, one for under the door and one for under the sleeper. After you've prepped the surface with alcohol and 3M primer, we're going to be applying the strip underneath the door first with the power lead facing the front. Now we are applying the strip underneath the sleeper. You can see the bend in it, so we're going to be getting that strip as straight as possible through that bend. This customer also had previous products on his rig, so we're going to be placing this strip directly next to where the old ones were mounted. Next, we're going to be putting in one of our dual zone controllers. Zone 1 here is going to be for his undercab, grill, and air vents, and Zone 2 is going to be getting capped off today for when he comes back for his underglow and rear accent. Now for the power, we're going to take the hot and ground from Zone 2 as well as the hot and ground from Zone 1 and bring them to their own 10-gauge 15-foot power and ground that will run directly to the battery. So now that we have our power and ground extended to run to the battery, we'll move on to Zone 1, where we will connect 2 18-gauge 4-conductor feeder wires. One will be a 20-foot wire that runs to the front for the grill and air vents. The other will be a 15-foot wire that runs to the middle of the frame that will connect into the undercab. And as I said, Zone 2 will just be getting capped off today for when he comes back in the future for the rest of the kits. Alright, here is what your controller should look like. We have our 2 feeder wires connected into Zone 1. We have Zone 2 capped off. Now we're just going to wrap this up all nice and neat and get it installed. Alright, here's the finished product. We are going to tape it with this heavy-duty 3M quick lock tape right there. And then our hole that we drilled is down in this corner here. So we're going to get the controller up, route the wires down, out underneath the skirt here and onto the frame where all of our connections will be made besides the ones that are running up front. Our jumper wires come in up there. We have them running over top of the frame here. This is going to be the jumper for the undercab. And then if we follow it forward, I've got our hot and our ground 10 gauge that are going to the battery, running into the battery bay there. Then the jumper for the front runs all the way up here. This is where I'll make the connections for the grill and the air vents. Now that all of our wiring for the grill and air vents are finished, you can see the passenger side of the grill as well as the passenger air vents come in together and then run along the bottom of the grill, where they then meet with the bottom, top, and left side of the grill strips. And then after they come out underneath the hinge here, the driver's side vents will then meet up with those, and they'll all go into one loom right here down onto the frame where they'll tie in with that front jumper. For the wiring of the undercab, we were able to take that first door strip and fish it through the hole right here, and then it runs on top of the battery bay and down onto the frame. Make sure you give it plenty of slack there for the cab to go up and down. And then the rear strip underneath the sleeper does the exact same thing there. And this will be identical to the passenger side as well, where all 4 of those wires will come down and meet to our jumper right there on the frame. Here we are putting on the crimp-on connections after twisting together all of our red, green, blue, and black wires from the grill and air vents to the feeder wire, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing for the undercab. After everything is sealed up, we will move on to the battery. So when connecting your battery, you'll see here I have my hot, here I have my ground. My ground's just going to go straight to the terminal here. Now my positive, I'm going to have to put a fuse link in, and this is very important. Anytime you have any unprotected wire, 5, 10, 15 plus feet long, you need to add another fuse link here. I got a 40 amp fuse link here. I'll probably only put about a 30 amp fuse in it. So I'm going to connect that on first and put my other side to my 10 gauge wire there. I just connected on the 10 gauge fuse holder. On the end, you'll see I have a 3/8 battery terminal here. Same thing for the ground, a little bit of heat shrink, and I'll wrap those all the way to the end, and then we're going to go ahead and connect them to our terminals. Here is a finished look at the battery bay wiring, as well as the controller module and the finished product. Thanks for watching, guys. Light them up and travel safe.
To the suburbs, Molly moved out of state. Dawn moved on to the next world.